Welcome to The Pathway. So this week, Beth Guckenberger was our guest speaker, but our Pathway study is still aligning with 2 Kings. And so we took a little bit of a different approach this week. Because we don't have a specific 2 Kings passage, we thought, we're getting close to the end of the book, it might be a good chance for some review. And so to put a little bit of a creative twist on this, you'll notice as you read through The Pathway that a lot of what it's encouraging you is to think back to who was a king or a person, a leader throughout this book so far that has really resonated with you. And I found this is one of the most helpful things, especially when we do a longer book like this, where it's several months in the same book, is that there's like things that God was teaching me 4 or 5 months ago that I've almost forgotten. And as I flip back through the pages, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. And the Spirit might renew something in you that you've been thinking or praying about. And so part of it also is really giving you questions to help you reflect on why that was so impactful for you, why that's the one that jumps to mind for you, and then to think about how you might explain that to someone else. If you distilled the whole thing into 2 or 3 minutes, kind of like a Pathway video, what would you tell somebody? What's the story? What's the takeaway? Why is that the one that kind of sticks to the ribs for you as God's been speaking to you? And so I won't review all of 2 Kings right now, but as I started flipping through it, it's like, yeah, Elijah was in the first chapter. I mean, I know we talked about Elisha a lot. I sort of forgot Elijah was in this book. Facing kings, going to heaven in chariot of fire, Elisha who takes over for him, and Naaman being baptized. Oh yeah, all those miracles that Elisha did, the woman who got her son back. And then of course we see example after example of bad kings and good kings, of God stepping in and defeating entire armies while his people sleep. There's a lot in there, so I'll bite my tongue on what might stick out most to me, but I'd encourage you as you work through the Pathway this week, ask God to just speak to you. What is something he might want you to remember, and how might you explain that to someone else? Like my wife and I often like to ask our kids on the way home from Horizon, what did you guys talk about today? And then they'll turn it back on us. Well, what did you guys talk about? And so maybe it's something you share with your family or a friend or your group study, or even just try sharing it back to God. I think you'll enjoy that this week as you review 2 Kings. Thank you for watching.